What's up? What's up? I think we're live. Welcome back to the channel. Josh and Brandy Helm here with Texas Best. We already got TikTok on, Instagram's on, YouTube is on. Different ones are rolling in right now. And tonight we're going to be just visiting with you guys, talking about Barndominiums. We're going to try to not get too distracted, which is always difficult whenever I have my counterpart here. She likes to detour.
Whatever. Not a distraction.
So
I'm already seeing it.
we got 110 people on with us in TikTok. Thank you guys for joining us. Listen, Barndominiums, that's what we're here to talk about. Barndominiums.
Well, we already have a question on TikTok. I don't know how quickly you want to start off.
Well, we're going to get into the questions, but we are so delighted to be back with you guys. It's been a good week so far. Not too much rain in the Dallas area, which, although we did have some, which left us pretty wet over the weekend, right? Like we had water flooding our yards. What's up? What's up? Thanks for saying hey. You guys on YouTube, go ahead and start making some comments so we know you're there, as well as Facebook. Bring in the herd, bring the people in. We want to talk about Barndominiums. Share this to some of your group pages. Share this to some of the your friends. This is a good way to for us to help grow the channels, as well as get some good information out there. So that's what this is all about. Just got the #1 gifter badge. Sweet. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the hearts as well and all of the love on these channels. We've got, tell us where you're coming from, where you're watching from. We've got Arizona.
Hello from Houston on Instagram.
We got Kentucky. We used to live in Kentucky, in the house. Let's go ahead and do shout outs. Let us know where you're coming from. I'm assuming Los Angeles, California, Texas. We are not taking any invitations. Tyler, Texas. Thank you, Angie. Raleigh, North Carolina. I like North Carolina.
That's a pretty state.
I've spent a little bit of time there in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Early on in my some of my construction days, I did some work out there. So
Got a couple people from Houston. We were actually just there this weekend.
St. Cloud, Florida here. Houston, Texas on YouTube. Thank you guys. Weatherford, Texas, Ohio, Northwest Arkansas, I believe is what it's saying. Displaced Texan. I'm so sorry, Lance. You come on back. Come on back home. Midlothian, Texas. Not too far from me, Eric. You guys are a hop, skip, and a jump. Sacramento, California, I'm assuming, unless there's a Sacramento, Texas. You know, we have everything in Texas. We appreciate that, Angie. We love you guys too. We appreciate all the support that so many people have rallied behind us over the years. And look, we're excited about the future for Barndominiums. We're excited about all of the legitimacy that we can do in Barndominium country, and as well as how we can help you in your efforts to build your dream home. Maybe you already have a Barndominium. Let us know, is this something where you're following us because you're going to build a Barndominium, or you already have a Barndominium? You guys go ahead and brag a little bit, or let us know about your future plans. Start putting that down in the comments as well. This is good information for us to know who's watching.
We got Arizona on TikTok, Denton, Texas.
Eric said he saw me and the beard driving down 35 a few months ago. Hey man, give us a wave next time you see us out there. I'm sorry if I cut you off. Sometimes I'm in a hurry.
That's funny.
We should be living in 3 months if all finances go well. Cool. Black Gables Barndo.
Maybe come see it.
Where's your build at? That's pretty cool. Yeah, we'd love to come. You know, we used to tour other Barndominiums early on when we started our channel.
Yeah, because we were trying to get ideas for our upcoming clients and things like that. So it was nice to give them kind of some more videos for tours.
Y'all look at Brandy's cup.
Y'all don't be jealous.
Look at this. This is the latest and greatest attraction at Buc-ee's.
My Buc-ee's cup.
I mean, she has always leopard everything, but I saw this, I was like, that looks like something you're gonna carry around. But that's like gold. Like that. This thing is like amazing. Yukon Outfitter. This is not sponsored, but it should be.
No, we sponsor Buc-ee's.
Yeah, we have been
us.
a avid purchaser from Buc-ee's for a long time here in
Don't be
Texas.
jealous about my cup. I'll go buy one.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. You know, it's unique to get so many compliments on something that's so natural as a part of my life, you know, having a beard. But it is pretty cool. You know, I don't have all that natural beauty, so it's like God gave me a beard. So it's the next best thing. If you're not beautiful, grow a beard.
Just covered up with hair.
Man, I really gave you a chance to say, oh, I think you're pretty good looking, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's all right. It's all right.
I've seen you without a beard.
Threw her softball. She couldn't hit it.
I missed.
Oh,
So how do you want to
we
do
got folks on here just getting quotes. We got folks on here that want to build. We got Burleson, Texas. I missed that one earlier. Thank you,
Divine, Texas?
Divine or Devine.
One of is it Divine? Divine. Oops.
South Texas. Is it Edinburgh or Edinburgh? I say everything wrong. What's your opinion? Here, you want to get into questions, or where are we going to start?
I guess we can. I mean, we can probably answer a lot of questions with kind of running down some of them.
We already got one here. What's your opinion from?
Oh, okay.
This is what you wanted to talk about last week.
Yeah, there's definitely some differences.
So we just came back from the NFBA, which is the National Frame Building Association, where we were kind of, immersed into post-frame construction, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, I really do. Obviously, we lean heavy on the steel frame because that's what's in our handbag or our tool bag, right? I don't carry a handbag, but I do have a backpack. But that's what's in our tool bag is to build with steel. So
yeah, that's what we're used to. But when we went up
somebody
there,
said they saw us on Stacy Lynn's Live.
oh yay!
That's pretty cool. You know, Stacy and I, we've gone back. We helped her early on promote kind of her thing, and she's been helping us for many years after. So good relationships are good to have.
Yeah, we toured her Barndo and put it on our YouTube channel, so you can go walk through her house with us.
Okay, I don't want to be stingy with the questions here. Let's. What have we missed?
Probably a lot. We probably need to kind of start from the
I
top.
don't even know how we're going to catch all this.
Okay,
Guys.
let me just tell y'all real quick on building radius. So we have a 60-mile turnkey radius from Red Oak, Texas. We're 20 miles south of Dallas, and so we only work in Texas in a pretty small area because Texas is so big. We have a 100-mile shell option, so we can give a little bit on that mileage for that shell. We can do a little bit more than 100 if we need to. If it's really easy to get to, that makes things easier. But
You guys be patient with us because we do have a lot of questions coming.
yeah, so we'll have to kind of back up.
And when I mean a lot of questions, I mean on 4 different platforms.
Yeah, so we're
And
having to
you're like,
monitor 3.
you're probably like, hey, why are y'all doing all that? Why don't you just do one at a time? Well, because we'd have to do all this 4 different times.
Okay.
And so we're trying to make sure we catch as many.
So I have a question real quick you can answer as we're scrolling back through.
Okay.
Somebody's asking, how long have we been doing Barndos?
How long have we been doing Barndos? Okay. Well, Barndominiums have been in our family. My dad built a Barndominium in 1997. Some of you guys might have seen this Barndo. It's the 10,000 square foot Barndominium on our YouTube channel. If you do the research, it's a big Barndo. But when we first got married, which is now coming up on 24 years ago, Barndominiums were a thing. It was kind of a silent thing, like it was like a hush, not really, nobody was really hiding it. It's just.
Well, we had plans to even do one, like we had a piece of property that we were given, and we were like, well, let's build a shop first. We can build a little living quarters.
We didn't call it a Barndominium. We were like, let's build a metal building, is what we said.
And we can live in it while we build our house. And we were going to turn it into like a fun game room, or, just a little extra space, after we moved into our house. And then that actually didn't happen, but that was our.
It didn't happen. We had some very generous folks who actually gave us a lot that we were connected with in our church, and it was kind of a seed thing into our lives. We were really blessed to have such a thing, but needless to say, we were going to build on this lot. We ended up moving away and ended up selling the lot because we had started a business, and
we moved to Kentucky.
And we had moved to Kentucky temporarily early on in our marriage. And so it was all about starting a family, doing these things in another territory. So that kind of vision died at the moment. And when we came back to Texas, which was in probably the 2006 time frame, we ended up buying a house, which was a conventional frame, big 2-story house over in Keller, Texas area. We were doing roofing, we were doing a lot of construction, but it was different than what we do today. Well, when the 2008 housing market kind of, all this stuff happened, it kind of wiped us out of the roofing business, and because of the mortgage companies and things like that had cramped down on people's checks from the insurance company. So it kind of put us in a tight squeeze. And we ended up pretty much starting over when it came to our business.
Yeah.
We ended up selling everything, our house, losing a lot of our equity in the house, even though it didn't go into foreclosure. But we had to sell it all, minus our equity. It put us in a big problem, for our late 20s, where we thought we had life by the horns. Anyhow, I started doing construction, diversifying the type of things that we did, was working with a family member who had a construction company who survived the whole 2008 housing crash. And so we started working with them. I was doing roofing. I was doing commercial roofing. I was doing EIFS and stucco and manufactured stone and all types of construction when it came to remodeling, restaurant tenant finish outs. We were working for businesses, doing facades, doing commercial tenant finish outs. So a lot of things like that, where we were kind of cutting our teeth on doing all types of work because I didn't want to travel anymore in the roofing business. And so we started learning new things. Well, in the 2005, 2006 timeframe, our in-laws came to us and they were going to sell their existing home. We had bought a house with 10 acres. They had kind of presented to us, hey, what do you guys think about us building a place, or you building us a place next door to your house?
And you would have a shop and we could stay in it.
Right. And so that was the idea. Well, it took us a few years actually, to get all the plans nailed down. And that's when we did it. We built our first Barndominium, which was for ourselves. And this is usually how it happens, right? Because a lot of people don't want to be bothered with building a Barndominium. unless they're already in way of doing it. And so we started doing it, and we built this place actually where we're in right now, which is actually our shop area. And when we built this, it kind of created a visual for a lot of people in the surrounding area who would come by, because we had our construction sign. We had ended up starting our own construction company called Texas Best, where we were doing a lot of remodeling, additions, all kinds of
Fencing,
backyard
patios,
and pergolas, and
all kinds of things.
of course we did some roofing, pretty much anything and everything. And that's what I told her when we got started. I'm like, don't worry, it's not going to be a big deal. We're just going to paint some houses and build some fences.
Famous last words.
Yeah, and so after, like I said, we started getting the inquiries, people who would come by, can you build us one of those? And so as we did that, we started contracting to do some Barndominiums. And
we learned a lot from building our own.
Yeah,
definitely. I think that was a good.
And as we built this one, of course, I did some things early on that it was kind of a make sense, practical things, which is a lot of that is still true the way we build here today. A lot of mistakes were made as well. One big mistake I feel like was with the foundation. The guy who I had helping me at the time really kind of talked me out of doing much with my foundation. And for those of you that know the area that we live in, this is a big deal. So,
and so from then on, we did engineered foundations for everyone.
Yeah. So that's a big
Like,
reason
we don't
why
wanna mess with that.
we put a lot into our foundations, because we don't want people to have some of the problems that we've had, even though it's just been a nuisance for us, because
It's not huge
it's not-
structural problems or anything, but
it is movement that I don't like. And
sticky doors and things.
And the same thing is with our conventional home that's next door. A lot of things are inefficient. A lot of things are a big problem. And this is why we really want to sell at some point in time, which we've done a lot of things to make it better. But we want to take advantage of some of these principles and practices that we're building for other people, so that we can take advantage of those same things as well. So that's the goal.
You live and you learn, and then you can kind of help people, direct people in the ways to do things. So like, just for instance, when we built this, we weren't planning on it being even a 2-story. And then when you started building it, was like, hey, wait, that's going to be really tall.
I think we were planning on there being storage.
Some storage up there, but not full. But now we've got our full offices up there.
That was going to be a lot of storage, though, and you guys would have put a lot of Christmas trees in there. And so I'm glad I talked better sense of you guys.
But we've added on to it 3 times. We've actually, the one thing that I always wish we had in our shop, because it's so big and we can have like parties in here and events and, Christmas parties with our company and things like that, was that we didn't have a bathroom in here. So you guys added a bathroom on for us. And so that was definitely a welcomed addition. So
that's something we did. And we've done some things in stages. And hey, look, maybe we will do a tour of this Barndo. We do have, actually, this is one of the first tours we did on our channel.
Pictures.
The first video we put on our YouTube channel was a Barndominium, and then we just kind of parked it there, and it was all pictures. But, so it was kind of.
It wasn't really a walkthrough tour, it was just a.
But maybe we'll bring it back, right? We'll do another tour video, since we don't have any of those to do.
Yeah.
Drew's literally setting on like 6 or 7 of these things. We're trying to get him to get the edits done so we can put them out. So we're behind on our editing. So that's the long story short. You guys know the rest, because you can pretty much see it on YouTube, where we've been fortunate and blessed to have millions and millions of views and hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
And 60 probably plus.
And over 300 and something videos that we put on YouTube, talking about principles, practices, finished ideas when it comes to Barndominiums. And we've been through the seasons as well, with terrible pricing, which some of you guys are still, experiencing, because we don't feel like some of that's going to easily change. and you kind of got to roll with the punches. So Mr. Barn Door guy says he wants to tour the shop, and I'm saying he. I'm assuming it's he, but because it says guy. And yeah, so maybe we will do a tour for that.
He says he wants a hat too. We know where we can get one of those.
Ben Augustin says, do you need contractors to install the steel and sheeting? You know, we've got great crews that do all this stuff. It's really systematic the way we roll through this. But if you want to call the office, you can, and leave your information there. We do not, Matt asked, do you use permacolumns very much? So the nature of the way we do our foundations is engineered foundations, as Brandy was talking about a minute ago. And so, oh, Caleb, yeah, man, I know you, bud. Caleb Mantooth. What's up, dude? So the way that we build is with the engineered foundations. So in Texas, a lot of our grade beams are 36 inches deep. Usually we're putting embeds, which are steel weld plates, into our concrete so that we can weld our columns to that. So instead of using wood posts, ours are welded steel posts, kind of like what you might see in the post frame industry, but we're using steel. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit. There are a lot of differences, but there's also a lot of similarities. To continue the other brother's question about post frame versus steel frame. For obvious reasons, some of those are you're using steel instead of a wood post. And all of our roof lines are out of steel. So the nature of that is, you know, sometimes we're able to achieve, you know, it's a little bit easier to keep some of that straight. But it is easier to work with the wood frame in some ways, and it may be more cost effective as well. These are things that we're exploring and potentially may be offering an option for post frame construction as we've been talking to some of our counterparts, suppliers, vendors. These are some of the reasons why we were up there at the NFBA to try to see, hey, is this an option that we want for our customers to have? That way, if things do go crazy on the steel side, we're presenting options to where we can continue building these beautiful homes.
Or once we know what kind of a budget would be for that particular option, it may be a lesser cost. It might save some money if somebody's, you know, really wants a Barndominium, but they really, you know, are trying to make it work with their budget. They may have that as an option for save some money.
Someone says, will you build in Tennessee or sell the blueprints to a local contractor? I love the Sadler home. Amber, we are, I'm sorry if this has been a little while. You probably asked this question 20 minutes ago.
Sorry.
If you're even still here. We are working on blueprints. That is going to be a big announcement for you guys coming up, where we're going to have some blueprints for sale. A lot of these will be some of the ones that we've built, and you'll be able to partake from the other areas in that. And, you know, we're working on all the details of how we're going to even maybe make those available to you guys.
I've got somebody asking which they asked a long time ago on Instagram, asking if my wife and I are in Arizona currently. We're looking to possibly relocate to the Dallas area. We'd love the idea of land. Is Barndominium more cost-effective solution compared to a custom home? Not
What's
really. Jacob and 1983.
Jacob, so you want to answer?
Go ahead.
So they're asking about whether a Barndominium is more cost-effective than a regular home. In terms of conventional framing, I assume. So the Barndominium really doesn't lack anything. The style that we build, the Barndominium doesn't lack anything that a conventional frame home has. Keep that in mind as you're exploring with your builder. We have a pre-planning strategy download that you can download on our link tree, which you can see at the bottom of the screen. and it's the link in the bio if you're on TikTok as well as Instagram. So the pre-planning strategies helps you ask some questions and stuff to the builders. But what I was going to get at is
Well, it kind of gives you a place to start as far as financing, getting
the cost effectiveness. Okay, the cost effectiveness between the one or the other is going to depend on what you're trying to achieve in a conventional frame. So if you're building a conventional frame home that has a small, very small garage, or maybe not even a garage at all, then you're going to be, you might be leaning to similar costs when it comes to building a conventional frame home, because you still got to have all the same interiors. You're going to have all the same finishes. You're going to put a little bit more on the efficiency on the Barndominium side. So some of the money is being traded for, say, maybe less expensive siding, but you're going to have better efficiencies because you've got a 2x6 studded wall with Texas Best, and more insulation. So some of these things help cause less demand on your HVAC systems, meaning that you don't have to have these great demands for your HVAC units. So these are some of the things that really push things one way or the other. If you're trying to do large garage, shop, big porches, and you're trying to gain some spanning abilities for your open concept living, there's no doubt about it. You're going to save money going to build a Barndominium. I mean, that's just the way that it is. So it's about what you're comparing it to. That's what I try to say. And as I used to say, what kind of consumer are you? Are you, when you go to the grocery store, are you buying
the name brand, or are you buying the off brand?
Yeah, are you buying organic everything? Because that's going to cost you more.
Because when people call, they say, how much does it cost on the videos? They'll say, how much? Well, I mean, it's no different than car shopping. You can add all the bells and whistles you want to it and come out of there with
it's almost
really
like
expensive car.
Yeah, it's almost like, well, what's more expensive, a car or a truck? Well, they're both going to get you there, right? But how do you want to ride?
Yeah. And do you want to be able to haul stuff?
Yeah.
House things.
Okay, I'm missing a lot of comments, and I'm sorry, guys.
Gloucester Building said, see you tomorrow.
That's right. Daniel, man, looking forward to being there. We're excited about being, we're going to go check out a project. I'll be making some videos about it, but we're looking at a whole new system. It's going to be exciting. You guys need to pay attention to the channel. We love going to see those guys down at one of Matt Reisinger's projects. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and looking forward to some of the collaboration there with Reisinger Build.
For you guys that we would not be able to build for, if you're not in our build radius in our area, we have a Building Barndominiums Facebook group. There's tons and tons of people on there. If you want to join that group, you can ask on there for Barndominium builders in, whatever area you're in. This one was asking for Johnson City, Tennessee. But you could get on there and say, who's building your Barndos in this area, and then you'll be able to get some actual recommendations. I don't know of anybody necessarily. We're going to do better about trying to link up with some different people that can do a good job for you. But
Mr. John Lyle, give me a call. You got my number, bro. We can meet up, buddy. So just give me a call. Let's hook up. I'm going to be over that way probably sometime next week. So let's link up if you're still on. Is it cheaper to build up or build out, one story versus two? Olivia, thank you for your question. So this question is asked a lot. There are some factors with this that really get weighed. There's similarities in cost when it comes to down versus up. We tend to tell people, hey, what you want to budget is for it to be about the same. The reason why sometimes, you've got to put open web trusses between floors. This gets costly as well, as depending on what lumber costs are for their subfloor systems. Also, you've got additional, obviously, you got all the other same things up there. You're going to have all the finish schedules that you would if it was downstairs. The biggest thing is foundation, right? And for some of the cost for a foundation, swapping that out, by the time you add stairs to it, by the time you're putting railing and some of these things, it ends up, some of these costs don't get washed out. So you're still spending similar money. And it takes a lot to make a set of stairs look good. I don't know if you guys realize that or not, but if you really want it to be popping, you're going to spend a little bit of money.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that one. They built a barn though because they were inspired by our YouTube channel.
Thank you, JP.
That's the whole point of what we're doing.
That's exactly why we do it. JP says we built the barn because we were inspired by your YouTube channel. This is that's our hope, right? We want you guys to be inspired. So
I've got a question. Is it conducive to build a barn in Tennessee with the humidity?
Is it conducive to build a barndominium with humidity? Well, certainly. I mean, you got to have a house, you got to have shelter. So no matter what you're building, you got to deal with any kind of humidity. And if you have the proper systems in place, then you can deal with it and accomplish what you need to accomplish, whether it's a barndominium, whether it's a conventional frame house, whether it's a commercial building. So, what's up, Mr. B Happy? Thank you. Good evening. Everyone, is there a company you're affiliated with? Affiliated with, sorry, small letters. If someone wants to have a barndominium built in Pennsylvania. I bet we could try to help you find somebody. So we don't have a current work list that we're going off of. Somebody says, why don't y'all build, Thomas says, why don't y'all build in South Texas? Well, I mean, she just won't let me get down that way.
I'll tell you why. We don't have, people down there. And so we would have to travel the distance. It would take longer for your job. It would cost more money, and it would delay getting things done. And then it would just be tearing up the roads, with fuel costs and things like that. So it's a little rough to go out further than an hour and a half, 2 hours max. So our 100-mile radius it's a doozy in itself. So to even fathom going further is rough for us.
Dalton on TikTok asked, do you do slabs and dried in shells or complete builds only? So we either do a complete turnkey build or we do a complete dried in shell only. Our shell onlys consist of complete framing packages, including the interior design.
Just no mechanicals on the inside.
The reason why is because when we submit our foundation to our engineer, it's gonna take in consideration all of the living quarters, fireplaces, all the stuff that's gonna go inside your living. That's weighed into that. And then if I'm already bringing a framer out to do the exterior walls with the way the systems that we do it, well, I don't want to break that up and just try to do the wall only when I could frame the rest of the interior. So we try to get the most impact for the crew that we bring down there to do it. So that's what it's about. We do all the wood framing. We have everything ready to where all your windows are installed, all the sheeting on the outside's installed, as well as the interior framing. And then that's where we stop on a shell only. So if you guys will look a couple videos back on our YouTube channel, you can see an example of a shell only and where we discuss and show some pictures of that. We're going to continually be giving you examples for shell onlys
coming up. Yeah.
So,
I'm not going to be touring them and doing vases probably because there's nowhere to leave them.
yeah.
But yeah, he's going to do tour videos of those shells, show you what they look like.
Yeah, the only bad thing about these shell only tours is Brandy's probably not going to be there.
No.
She's not bringing you flowers. I mean, maybe for
You'll
some
have to
of,
buy yourself.
maybe for some of you, but that's the special thing about Brandy bringing the flowers to our tours.
Yeah, that's kind of one thing I started, in case people don't know what we're even talking about. When we were doing remodeling, I would buy a vase, and I have my little silhouette that I cut out a custom letter or whatever. I put an initial on there for the customer, and then I would go get the flowers and I arrange them myself, and we leave those when we come and kind of do our finished walkthrough.
It's always been a nice touch for our builds, and it's first housewarming gift for our clients, which is always a sweet touch.
Yeah, usually they're moving in right when we leave, so it's a nice little
Jordan,
touch.
thank you for that. He says he's been trying to get a barn door built in Pennsylvania and can't find a quote for under $550,000 to $650,000. He's
I don't know
asking
what the costs are there.
without land price. Wish more companies would be interested. I do too. I think it's a good option. Dalton, thank you. He says looking to build in Fairfield, Texas. Dalton, we are probably going to do a shell only in Dalton, Texas. In Fairfield. Yeah, Fairfield. We've worked in Buffalo. I've been looking at projects in Centerville as far as that way.
About as far as it's going to go, I
But
think.
we really don't want to go much further than that. But shell only in Fairfield is just fine.
Miss Postframe was on here earlier. I missed her.
We
Hey, guys.
we met Mr. and Mrs. Postframe, which was pretty cool at the NFBA, and it was kind of like an instant, just I don't know, like a appreciation for each other. I think is what it is. Knowing
It's like,
what
do you do?
knowing
That's how I
what-
do it. That's how I do it. That's
knowing
cool.
what we've been through to build these homes and the stuff
Yeah.
is pretty neat. To be able to find people, and me and Mr. Postframe, we were literally born like 13 days apart, which is pretty neat
And they're video guys from Waxahachie.
from our
So it
area.
was like, and we all know we know all the same people.
It's a small
So,
world.
they actually said they have some contacts in Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See, so you guys go ahead, send your messages, and maybe we can link
Link y'all up
you
with them.
up if you want to email us, email the office.
I'm caught up on Instagram, so you take it over there.
Do y'all ship barn door packages to North Carolina? Derek, currently, we don't have any options, but potentially in the future, we are going to have some options. So if you'll keep checking back with us, and, we would much appreciate it if you, but understand, there are other people that I think are doing some of those things, but of course, it's not Texas best, but.
Right.
Curtis Kitchens, we're excited, looking forward. I'm excited too, Curtis. Thank you. Looking forward to follow up on this project. I think it's going to be an exciting project as well. So thank you for joining in. Must you charge to do plans for a barn door? So we are going to have some plans available where you'll be able
Some of
to
our previous builds.
kind of pick and choose. There's going to be an announcement coming up about that. So hope you guys will stay tuned with us, because we are trying to get y'all some plans from some of these that we've built that are available.
People are always asking, I want the plans for the West Point or the Sadler or the whoever. So
What's our time frame? What are we doing?
time frame, it depends on, obviously, once you get your funding. So a lot of things happen before that, where we're getting you quotes and draw schedules and things, all the things the banks need for getting your funding. So then once your funding is available, that pretty much at that point is when you get put in our system for for our schedule. So it usually is going to take anywhere from 2 to 3 months, unfortunately, from the funding point until we actually are pouring foundation. So the reason for that is just because we've got other jobs lined up, and we'll have to send off for your soil sample. We have to get the engineered foundations plans done. And then, of course, any kind of dirt work, things like that, all that takes time. So You've got a little bit of time there, and then actual build time, anywhere from 8 to 10 months, give or take, especially on the distance. If you guys are at our max point, you can expect that it's going to be at the latter part of that on the time
Here
frame.
in the recent months, it's been taking more like 7 to 9 months, but we're just trying to be realistic with guys.
I would rather you be excited about
Yeah.
getting it in 7 months than mad
So-
that it took, a little longer. So
That's right, Wesley. He said he
Mr.
wants
Sheringham.
in on his Barndominium plan. I got you.
You actually designed that one,
Hey,
didn't you?
I had to help a little bit on those plans, but we actually don't even have a full set of prints on
That
that
was
build.
kinda a napkin
The Joshua
situation.
Barndominium was a
Some
beautiful
Graph paper.
Barndominium.
Yeah.
And so it was a real joy and pleasure getting that one done for you guys.
Don't go look at that one on our YouTube channel.
What's up, Caleb?
Joshua
Hey,
Building.
buddy. What's up? What's up, buddy? Today is our youngest son's birthday.
Yeah, Justice is 10,
10 years old.
the baby.
Our baby, Justice, is 10 years old. So,
It's kind of sad how fast the last one grows up because of all the older siblings. I just feel like he quit playing with toys when he was 4, and he wants to play games with his bigger brothers, and it's just
all right, we got another question.
sad.
My husband and I love the barn doors you have built and are looking to have on built after we purchase our land, but we would need plans done for us first. Yes, you would need plans done first. Keep checking back with us. We may have some pretty good options for you guys. Would we ever build in New York? Is that out of our build radius?
Yeah, that's going to be too far. Unfortunately, we are Texas best. We are not
Well, maybe
able to get
maybe
up that
not.
far.
Yeah, we're not New York's best yet,
Yeah.
so we're not quite there. We're still okay. Mark, what's your question? Now that I'm here, I got to go look for it. I missed it. Have you ever worked with?
A barn door with concrete exterior walls. Any advice, or should we stay away from?
Hey, Mark, I like concrete for a mass when it comes to building. I think it's a great, fortress way to build. Obviously, I'll put your question on. Obviously, it's about expense. It's going to cost some money to do it. There's some great systems out there like ICF, some very really cool ways to build like that. I would love to be a part of a project like that if somebody wants to prototype one out for a Barndominium where we could include steel with some ICF. I think that'd be pretty slick to do it like that. The closest thing I've got to doing something similar to that is probably a car wash where we were part of a project where we poured concrete walls and we put these big, huge spanning rafters all the way across. It wasn't steel construction on the top side, but it was more similar to what you'd call your post frame. We actually had a crane involved on this deal, and just our conventional frame guys who were involved, and it was a lot of fun to build the car wash like that. So, but I think it'd be a lot of fun as well to do a Barndominium project using the ICF or there's other types of forms you can set. Do you have to worry about roof leaks and sealing it with closed cell foam? I'm not sure if the roof metal is screwed down or another attachment method. So when it comes to sealing our builds, we do not rely on spray foam at all. I don't encourage that to be a first line of defense, so to speak, or not a first line, I guess a last line of defense. Our spray foam is merely used for insulating purposes only. A matter of fact, in some ways, I feel like the spray foam can interfere with some of your flashing details if they're not secured properly. So these are some of the things that I'm preaching a lot of times on our channel, why it's important to use our substrate products with our zip system and stuff like that that we put on there is so that we don't have some of that pushback from spray foam when it comes to the exterior panels. So for me, when it comes to spray foam, I like it to operate for the thermal break that it gives me for the steel. And that was cool. I got a big thumbs up there.
Oh, that was weird.
And so mainly to prevent any condensation that could happen with the metal. Now on our wall systems, we don't have to worry as much about any condensation because we have our air and moisture barrier on our wall systems that goes outside of any steel. But our roof lines, because we use the PBR style panels, and those are bare exposed underneath, with the purlins, we spray direct spray with closed cell foam first before we add our additional insulation on the open cell.
Carissa Garcia is asking, can land be included in financing or does it have to be acquired prior? She's looking in Kaufman, Texas. So good question. If you already have your land or if you already have a loan on your land, when you go to do your construction, your interim construction loan, they're going to want to take over that loan. They're going to want to pay that loan off and have that land be attached into your construction loan because they're building on that land. They can't put a lien on a building. They have to put a lien on a piece of land. So if you have it, they can use it as collateral potentially. But yeah, I wouldn't go out and buy the land first and have a mortgage, a loan on it because you're gonna have you can't have two loans on the same. So I would do one close.
Whose question are you answering?
I mean,
Okay.
TikTok, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking for it.
Oh, I was answering that one over there. Sorry.
And that's with
Carissa, yeah.
Carissa.
So talk to your bank. If you have land picked out, I would talk to them and say, hey, this is what I want to do. They'll help you secure that land, and then you can start your build process.
Okay, hopefully that
You don't have
helps
to pay
you
closing
out,
twice.
Carissa. Thank you for your question. Terry says they own land 20 miles south of Palestine, cleared with pads built. Will we travel there?
Palestine. Let me check it out.
I really
That's
like,
nice.
you know what I like about Palestine is the lake. So
So Palestine, Texas,
I feel like we would go there.
20 miles south of Palestine. Let's see here.
Well, I don't know on the south side.
Yeah, let's
I
see.
mean, we're going to Tyler.
So Palestine's 94 miles. So you're going to be 20 miles south of that. We might could squeeze a shell into that.
So
Maybe
here's
another
the thing,
turnkey, though.
like, I actually don't mind driving some of those roads, like what for our guys. But when we're talking about going north and having to go through the
Dallas.
city of Dallas to get there,
That's rough.
it really is a beat down, and it means extra 30, 40 minutes, sometimes maybe an hour in the truck. Well, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
And,
when your
you know,
plumbers have got to make that drive,
we want our teams to be able to get
everybody's gotta
home
get there.
and not be completely worn down. And but we're working all the way in Whitesboro right now. For those of you that are following along on our
Black
great
gold.
big black gold Barndominium, which is
With the basement.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
We got a big update coming on that build as well. If you guys have been following along, that will be coming out as soon as we get the edit done. Seems to be a routine thing here. We're just waiting on edits.
Come on, Drew. Time's ticking.
Okay, what do you think is the best insulation to use for a barn dome? Well, I like the spray foam for ours because it pushes me that way because I have the steel. And we use a lot of spray. We use a lot of insulation. Actually, I'm gonna tilt the camera here. You see, that's spray foam right there that we painted black in our shop.
That's a closed cell.
So that's a closed cell spray foam. So we like to use spray foam to hit all of that metal, which gives us a good closure. And we use that all the time in the shop. We use it all the time on our roof lines as a basis. So after you already got your spray foam guy there, it really, trying to add other insulations becomes more of a extra coordination. So we go ahead and spray the rest of the interior walls with that. Now, one of the things we are talking about is other ways that we could maybe do even some exterior insulation. Maybe have our some substrate on the roof, increase or decrease some of our spacing for our purlins so that we can get a roof deck up there. These are things that I would like to see some of my clients be able to have some of that. So that's some of the things that we're talking about, trying to work out. And Scott, what's your percentage of returns for leaks on your builds? Very minimal. We don't have roof leaks, so that's very minimal. Occasionally, once you build a build, you might have some kind of little situation that you become aware of, but that's not. Look. Let me tell you this about it. A lot of the ways that we build, we have purposed to build a certain way to where we don't have problems. Now, if I had a lot of problems, then you wouldn't see me building that way. I can guarantee you that I wouldn't be putting up with that. I wouldn't be wanting to do it. But because more than most of the time, I don't know how to say that, but we've had really good success with the systems and the things that we do.
We've got over here.
Let me answer. Okay, you go ahead, find one. I got a question here, and I skipped a couple, so I'll come back to you. Do you have set trades companies that you use for turnkey builds? Does that change on a shell-only option for turnkey in Granbury, Texas? Peyton, no. All of it is the same, our same effort. Now, if we were to be doing like post-frame construction or something like that, you may see that it's a different set of teams because we're not going to take anything away from our steel frame, and we're not going to be asking welders to be wood framers. So that's some of the things about that. But when it comes to our standard system, our hybrid steel frame builds that we do when it comes to our normal routine, it's going to be the same guys. A lot of times we're going to use the same plumber to do the rough end, the same concrete man to do the foundation, our same engineer to do the engineering.
Well, when you use a bunch of different...
our same steel frame guys that are our team, our fabrication process, and then we're going to use the same wood framers that we normally work with. Now, what that should tell you is that, yeah, we're not pumping out homes like what some of these other builders that are doing next door houses, some of your production builders. We're not a production builder. We're a custom builder in the sense that every build is unique. It has a different set of circumstances. It has
it's probably never been built. We've never built it before, probably.
Yeah, most every build that we built has never been built. It's always different. Now, occasionally, and it's probably going to happen more often where we're building some of these builds. When we start making some of these plans available, we're going to be building some of the similar builds, which we've done in the past. We have some coming up where we've built more than once. So,
Timber builder Trent said exterior insulation is an amazing idea.
Mr. Trent, timber builder, yes, it is, and I can't wait to see some of that you guys got going on down there on that project when we come to take a look.
And then I've got on Instagram, SR Dickerson said, I built a red oak Barndominium. My house is so energy efficient with the spray foam insulation. I keep my thermostat at 68 year round.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dickerson. We appreciate that. We love the red oak Barndominium. It's a beautiful build. It's right here. I like to drive down that street.
You're like, oh,
I'm be like, oh, that looks good.
yeah. And especially now that they've got, you can, once people live in them, you can see
Well, they
they've
did
got landscaping.
They did a good job right away
Yeah.
putting landscaping and all
Really
that. But
nice.
you guys need to check out the Red Oak Barndominium. See, we have some of our clients with the Joshua Barndominium on here tonight, our Red Oak Barndominium on here tonight, some of
We've
our
had-
past customers.
We've had our
It's-
Rio Vista was on here.
Our last live, we had our Rio Vista customers join us. It's really cool. And to see you guys on here, hope you're doing well. And I like to keep the temperature on 68. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get back with Mr. Dickerson and come do some
Follow-up.
exploration on the follow-up about performance. Would we do a turnkey in Granbury? Mr. Payton is asking. I believe so. I think it's right there at the 60 miles. So I think that you're in the money on that deal.
I think Ann said Limestone County, Texas, and that's 83 miles. So it's right in the middle of our turnkey versus shell option. So we could potentially work that in.
Okay. We got a couple questions here. We're just going one to another. That's why sometimes we're like, we don't know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to get on here and answer questions.
Well,
Because you guys got so much.
sure. Well,
Somebody says, what is the price per square foot right now? I have a buyer looking at building a Barndo in Joshua.
okay, well, we have, he can give you the price per square foot right now, but we have, I want to tell everybody, on our LinkedIn, we have a Barndo cost calculator. It's on our website, on our link tree, not LinkedIn. I keep saying the wrong thing. But it's a cost calculator. You can get on there and you can price out a shell option or a turnkey option. So you can get in there, put in your information as far as square footages of your porch, of your shop, of your house, all the things. And it'll give you an instant quote. You don't have to wait around on anybody to look through and wait on them for 2 weeks to price it. It'll be a preliminary quote because, once you submit plans, we'll need to definitely double check everything and make sure we're including everything. But check that out. It's a great resource. It's free. You can do it as many times as you want. Change it up. If you found a plan online that you like, or even one of our builds, we give the information on our videos. So we'll say it's 1,832 square feet and it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and it's got a 1,000 square foot shop. You can go get the information from that. You can look at that house and say, how much did that house cost? You can pretty much price it right there for today's times. Since we don't include our prices on our videos, some people get frustrated with that, but those are dated sometimes. That might have been a house that we built in 2019. Well, the prices were totally different then than they are now. So you want an updated price. If I tell you what they paid for it then, you'll just be frustrated. So, because you won't be able to build it now for that price. So the cost calculator is updated with accurate pricing. So go there and check it out, and you can, figure out what different houses cost.
Absolutely. Please take advantage of our link tree. And I'll put it up real quick before I answer this question. The linktree.com, Texas Best Construction. Please take advantage of this, guys. We're putting free resources on there. We're giving you the perimeters. We're giving you the ability to play around with the cost so you can massage out the details. Uh-oh. Not this again.
You got to slide it over. It's a puzzle piece on TikTok.
If I
Making
don't,
sure he's not a robot.
if I don't do something,
But he tries to cancel it.
oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay. So take advantage of these resources
We're trying to
we're
help,
giving you
yeah.
guys, and it's free. Like, we're not robocalling you. We're not doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. You do have to input an email because it sends it right back to you.
Yeah, it's got to send it somewhere.
But when it comes to getting quotes, go here. There's a Barndo calculator. We literally did this because we had people that were calling the office. We couldn't reply back fast enough. We had people giving us bad reviews
They were frustrated because they couldn't get a quote back.
because
quick
they
enough.
couldn't
It's like, we've
get
got-
a phone call back quick enough, and they were in another state. And it's like, guys, we're a small business. We're just trying to take care of our clients, and we're doing this now. It's some of the woes of the social media, right? But at the end of the day, this is a system that we created so that we can touch you guys with information to bring you value. And that's what it's all about. We're doing this for your benefit. It's helpful to us because we're answering these questions, and it helps you get in the door. There's a way for you to come all the way in and us build you a Barndominium on there as well.
Yeah.
So it's part of the process.
Yeah.
Which is a great value and tool. So let me go back to the
Just
question.
keep in mind though, when you're looking at our pricing with that cost calculator, it's going to be determined on your area. If you're not building in our area, I mean, these other states, they may be a lot higher than us. I don't know that they're much lower than us, but.
Okay, Mr. Gomez asked, after attending the NFBA Expo, are there any changes you're thinking about incorporating into your builds? I think that's a good question. Okay, for the most part, the answer is no. Like our existing builds, we feel like are really solid the way that we're building. There's not any things that we're looking to change about the way that we're building. Actually, we're looking to validate, probably more so, the way that we the way that we build existingly. Currently. Anyways, so as far as things that we're looking to change about the way that we build, not so much, but maybe adding to our versatility is kind of more so along what that's about, and doing the research, making some connections, learning from another system that's been around for who knows how long they've been building post-frame barns, right? All I know is our style of build, our hybrid system is, there's not association for that. This is us. This is the way that we build. This is the way we found best to build in our area with the materials and things that we assorted and put together. And so a lot of the ways that we build, like I said, we feel like it's very solid. We still feel like it's probably one of the best ways when it comes to structure-wise in our area. However, if we can learn more about the other system, that's what we're there for. And so that we can participate potentially in that.
JD Foreman's asking us, is it cost extra for a monitor style?
No.
No, it's not.
No.
The style's not really going to.
Not with us, it does not. Let me tell you why. Because our guys are good. And our steel frame guys, like, we can take a set of plans and we can frame that thing and there's no problem at all. Like we're not challenged by a monitor style build versus doing a gable. We're not challenged by these things. Now, sometimes you do have additional materials that are involved, which does add some cost, and as well as equipment for mobilization when it comes to adding your trim and your boom lifts and some of these things. But when it comes to where was that question at?
Up a little higher. One more. Yeah.
JD, but when it comes to building that style, we're all on board. So let's see what's next.
Michael Folan says that the build quote process was really easy to use. So
thank you, Michael. We are currently working with you guys right now, and I'm going to text you later because I know we're going to try to be meeting sometime next week, hopefully. That's what that's about. We find all different ways to communicate here. Eric says, I'm saving my money right now so you can build for us in Venus, Texas. Maybe it'll be the first Venus build. Yeah. Hey, right now we don't have a tagged Venus build. Mm-hmm. We're really close to there though, Alvarado, as well as Maypearl a couple different times. So yeah, nice. Let's be the first Venus. What?
Those comments, that's weird. Let's see. This,
Whose barns?
I don't know what he's talking about. No, he's not talking about us.
I don't know what you're talking about, but we're still busy over here.
Okay. Anyways, I'm starting a build of my own Barndominium hybrid, and the hardest part so far has been getting a materials list for my red iron framing trusses.
Okay, this is T-Pars. You're starting the build of your own hybrid. I understand the frustration with that, primarily because there's no collaboration between your steel framing companies or your steel suppliers and your wood frame lumber supplies. And this is a big thing that I feel like I want to help change in our industry, that, we're going to be working to change. So, that is a big part of it's something that we pretty much went on without having. Like, we didn't have anybody catering to us when it came to that. And so we do our own material lists for our steel frame. And, there may be options in the future where we do some offerings for consultation and try to help you guys with certain things. But right now we are busy, and I don't have a lot of time to do that kind of work. But potentially, we try to help you guys if we can. But I'm sorry you're having trouble with that, but that is a big problem in the industry. What else here? Joshua, that's a great name, man. Do y'all do retro foam insulation or spray foaming? I'm not sure I'm aware of the differences in that. So, retro foam. Do you guys have anyone else on the team for the build, or is everything subbed out? So, like I said, most of your typical trades, your licensed trades, they're all subcontracted. That's the way the whole world works. So I don't have my own electrical company or HVAC company, or, really even concrete company. I've got a skilled group of guys that I've consistently been working with over the last 8 or 9 years, where we've produced results no matter what we've done, even to doing basements, to doing piers, to doing grade beams, to all of the complexities that are involved when you're doing foundations, depending on what the engineers require. But the same is true with all these other trades. I don't own a spray foam company. There are things that we took on as burdens for ourselves as a company, so that so it helps save on costs when it comes to our clients. Like, we own our own dumpster company, basically, where we facilitate the trash on our job sites. This is something where early on we decided, hey, we don't want to pay for this because
$400 a month per job.
Yeah, you're adding an extra however much per month, and so even now we still have expenses
Right,
because
we had to buy those
regarding that, but it's like, it's about paying towards the future, right? So that you're not always just expensing out. Now, don't even get me started about the burdens that are involved with all of that. Same thing with our logistics. We haul a lot of materials, so we do a lot of this stuff ourselves. We're hauling our steel, we're hauling our lumber sometimes, complete lumber packages. Our steel frame guys all work full-time with us. We own all the equipment for that. So this is not something we're renting out. We don't rent out, although it costs us a lot of money to maintain. We don't rent Skytrax. We don't rent scissor lifts, any of those kind of things. It does cost a lot of money for a mechanic, so because you buy used equipment,
and for a CDL,
stuff goes wrong. And the CDL, the whole dot thing, it just drives me up the wall.
Oh, should have got him started on that
Yeah,
one.
don't get me on that because it drives me up the wall because even though you have everything you're supposed to have, they still pull you over.
Just to check,
Just
just to aggravate.
to inspect. It's like, leave us alone. We're just trying to do something here. I don't have time for this.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways, what gauge steel do you use for your roofs and the sides? We use all 26 gauge steel. And if somebody wanted to upgrade, we could go thicker than that to like a 24 gauge. But the standard for us is 26 gauge, and that's what is going to be priced if you go to our Barndo cost calculator and our, for our shell only as well as our turnkey. Nothing's getting skimped out on when we do a shell only. It's all the
No, it's the
same,
exact same
same
process.
materials, same process, same kind of draw schedule.
Same guys building it.
Same kind of contracting. I mean, a little bit different on the contracting because you don't have as much involved, but all of this is similar. So
I have somebody on Instagram asking, he asked twice, so I want to make sure I answer him. He's asking if we build in Austin. We do not. We have a 60-mile turnkey radius from Red Oak, Texas, and a 100-mile shell option, and we are 20 miles south of Dallas.
Piney Woods Buildings, LLC, you guys are the best. We're inspired by you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to check out y'all's page. Shoot me a message so I can find you back here. Who is this?
Oh, they were asking about a VA loan. You mean to answer that real quick? Rebecca Ann.
Okay, Rebecca, thank you for your patience. Wanting to use a VA loan for construction to permit to build, to permanent. A VA loan for construction to permanent to build Barndo style home in North Carolina. What is your advice?
Okay, so we're not North Carolina, so I don't know if there's anything different, but we have done quite a few VA loans, but we have a local lender that is willing to do the construction loan for the customer, and then the VA will buy it out at the end. They will do the permanent loan for the build after the construction is complete. So there are a few things that your builder may have to do in regards to some paperwork and some different things. But for the most part, it's been a pretty easy process for us. But yeah, you can definitely do it. I would just try to find a local lender. And you guys, for your lenders, if you're having trouble finding banks to lend for these projects, go to a smaller bank. Go to a smaller bank that's local to where you're going to be building, and they can, usually help you out with that. These big time banks, the bigger banks, they're not going to be interested in even doing the construction loans for you. So here we don't have any trouble getting financing. I know some other states, they don't really understand what a Barndominium is, so they're maybe a little, worried about you calling it that. But it's a custom home. That's what it is. So you can, call it that instead if they're worried about, the label of it. But we don't have any issues with that here. And the more Barndos are built in areas, the easier it is for people to get financing later, because then people are starting to understand what they are. When we built this one, we had a little trouble with just because they couldn't find comps in the area for the appraisal, but we don't have that issue anymore. They're just so many around here.
And let me say this, if you are a builder and you're on here, or you're a young builder, or you're somebody who's looking to build more, and you can have an appreciation for the way that we build our methods, our styles, and you're looking to kind of mimic that, reach out to us. Let us know who you are, where you're at, because we'd like to help you along the way so that you can be successful. We've learned the hard way, honestly, in this business to do what we're doing. It is a special mold that it takes to do this business. I'm just going to say that. So for some of you guys that are trying to glean, understand, learn, watch, just to try to understand what we got going on, and look, you want to be you think you want to be doing what we're doing, well, grab hold of what we're talking about, because we're going to give you the whatnots to do as well, or what I call them, the barn do's and the barn don'ts. That's my little tag phrase. You heard it here first. You guys, I don't want to be seeing that out there, people trying to do that. So barn do's and barn don'ts. That's the Texas best thing. And it's on recording right here. We got it.
Timestamped.
The 19th. Barn do's and barn don'ts. So, what else? Did I miss one? I know I missed one over there.
Just, do we have any plans to build out further?
Any plans to build further out? Look, let me tell you this. I so want to go further, right? I want to, I really do. And we got so busy in the 21, 22 time frames that it was kind of crazy. I mean, we had way too many projects, and so I feel like it's kind of one of those things. We're looking for better ways that we can reach these other areas. So these are things that we're exploring. We're exploring options. But currently, like I said, I am not willing to do anything to jeopardize the flow that we have and the obligation that we have to the customers that we have currently. Otherwise, it just gets ridiculous, and I can't do that. So that's what it's about.
Yeah, because then I've got to drive, 2.5 hours to do one little thing, and it's gonna take longer to get there and back than to do what you've got to get there to do. So it's just, for the longevity of the build, it's hard to commit to that, and then it takes away from the time that you can spend on the other projects. So.
Okay, here's a question. I want you to read that one.
Okay. We live in Texas and want to build a second home in Colorado. A little nervous about building a home long distance. From the perspective of a builder, what would your biggest tip for us be?
Biggest tip from the perspective of a builder from a distance. Look, we've had the privilege of building for people from a distance. As well, and we can also tell you kind of some of the things that might be the struggle. Obviously, communication is the biggest thing. Making sure that you have a way to communicate, to stay communicated when it comes to your selection process, when it comes to
you can see the progress on the build.
Yeah, and making sure there's some type of a management app or something like that. Like we use Builder Trend, unsponsored and unprovoked from us. We use Builder Trend. This is a construction management app that has in some ways made our life a lot easier. In some ways it's not, but you get out of something what you put into it. And this is what I've always said early on. It's like, oh, this is so cool. Like you can do so many things with it. But the challenge is the daily input, how we use this tool, and the versatility that it can give. So, but making sure that whoever you're building with has some way to communicate. This is going to be key to your relationship. It's
Daily logs, pictures, things
building a home with somebody is like
stressful.
Being married in some sense. Like it's not marriage, okay, but
it is for a season.
If I stop talking to her, and we don't have the communication that we need, that there's a drifting, right? And so there's people are going different directions, and that can be a problem, especially if you don't know your builder, especially if you don't know what their intentions are, especially if you don't know them. Like a lot of you guys have had the convenience to know us in a lot of ways because we make ourselves accessible. Well, it's not that way with a lot of builders. They're not comfortable with this kind of stuff, right? Openly talking and sharing details about the business and the challenges and all this kind of stuff. So, and I get that because it is a vulnerable thing to be setting up here, especially if you maybe don't have the proven success and you don't know what the future holds, to be sitting up here talking about it. And two, sometimes the ongoing challenges that you're having with your existing situations, right?
Right.
We've been there. We've had those challenges.
Well, and it's hard to build from a distance, though. I mean, if you can make frequent trips there and see the progress and really be open, even, doing a video chat with your builder, like if you're not able to be there in person, like walking around with them. I mean, there can be some frustrating things that you run into when you pop back up, say all your electrical was done while you were gone and you come in and this isn't where you wanted it to be or whatever, or you wanted to add something and now it's a change order. If you'd have been able to tell them ahead of time, they would have been able to, get it included or whatever. So, I mean, it can definitely be a stressful situation, but I would definitely say, you definitely want to be able to come in and see it as often as you can, just to be able to make sure everything's looking like you want it to.
Here's an interesting question here. Oh, did somebody switch it over?
Yeah, Ashley, you can go.
Let's do this one first. Okay. We live in Arizona and really want to do a build and love yours a lot. Are you guys able to be our general contractor to build here? Have you had issues converting a construction loan to a mortgage? That's an interesting question. I don't think I've heard anybody ask us in that way to be their general contractor in another state. But I think more along the lines of this, I would be more apt to build a relationship with a contractor in the area that had proven results than I would be trying to manage a project. So I'm not probably going to be involved in something like that currently. There may be a time where it's a little bit different. But like I said, we are looking for ways that we can make relationships for those reasons. All right. Jeff said, I met you at the Lowe's in Gun Barrel City a while back. I'm glad you're doing well. We're doing great, Jeff. Thank you. And Jeff says, confirms it's definitely a 4 to 9 month marriage. The guy gives up most of the time and just says,
Let the wife handle it.
Lets the wife handle it. Yeah.
Yeah, it can definitely be stressful, especially if you've already sold your house and you're like living in a temporary situation.
Sometimes, and it's not like that in this season as much, but in past seasons, you feel like you're somewhat of a, with all of the stress that's involved because of your rising costs, there's so much pressure involved on building a home. And a lot of it is because of these uncertain times that we've been in when it came to rising material costs, elections, your financial market systems that, depending on which news station you're watching, you may feel one way or the other. So these are big things. Like, it's all big things. And sometimes, like I said, I've shown up and we've got customers already living in RVs, and it's just I'm like, hey, you guys are too early. We're not ready for y'all here yet.
Well, a lot of people got themselves into that situation when the market went crazy. They could get so much for their house, they sold it. They couldn't resist. So yeah, that's kind of a bad situation because you're already in it and it's not going to be a quick fix. So
yeah. Okay. What else did we miss here?
Do you? Go back.
This is a good question.
Okay.
What do you think?
When showing finished builds, do you think disclosing the final price would give people more realistic idea of what they would want to pursue one versus a traditional home? So here's the thing, Eric. When we're not building, we're not doing like a neighborhood where we're building, 6 different houses over and over again, where that information is just disclosed because, maybe we're trying to sell the property or we're trying to sell the home. We're not trying to sell these. We're just showing them so that you guys can look at them and be like, oh, okay, now I get what this is, or I like the way they did this, or I want to incorporate this in my build. We're really just showing it for an example, and to promote just our builds and just document what we're doing. But as far as the pricing, you know, if you look at some of our YouTube videos, some of them are going to be from, you know, 2019, before COVID, before all the things shut down, before all the prices went up. So there's different prices from back then versus now. So if we gave you a price on a build from back then, it's not going to be accurate in today's market, which is why we have this Barndo cost calculator. We tell people all the time that they can figure out what that house would cost in today's market. And it's an option. You can figure that out. We don't give that information because we are building for people.
All of the information to determine how much a build will cost today is literally given out in every video that we do. The square footage for the living, square footage for the porches, square footage for the shop. It's literally the first thing we talk about. So on any build at any given time, you could literally write that down, and you could go to our Barndo calculator. You could determine what this would cost today if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So we're fine with people using it for that. But for us to put how much it costs in the video, look, let me say this. Do I think it would give us more views on YouTube? Yeah, it would. But what we have been about is not exposing what our customers are paying for their own privacy.
That's just like asking somebody how much you pay for your house.
I mean,
they may not want to tell you.
That's part of it. We've been accused, oh, well, you guys are trying to hide something. No, we're not trying to hide. We tell you what it costs per square foot. Right now, the living square footage the base price is around $175, say $180 per square foot for living square footage. But by the time you add mobilization, you get a lot of the other things that get on there when it comes to whatever else it might be, septic systems or pad sites, all these other kind of things. It ends up being probably closer to $200 per square foot. And I want to clarify that because I've said two different things at different times, but you can literally determine that by looking at our Barndo calculator. You can see what we're charging. Yeah. And you could take that information and use it over and over again.
Yeah, because when you have a house that's been maybe one of our videos that's been on there for years, the price has changed on that house 5 times. You know,
so the YouTube channel, I mean, obviously the effort that we put into it is a twofold thing, right? We're putting the effort into it. When we first started, we just really wanted to share our business. We wanted to show people what we can do, what a Barndominium is, what it can be, and to the greatest lengths. It was fun. That's what it's all about. Meanwhile, we're taking on a lot of extra projects. We got a lot of extra work to do because we're sharing this. So we didn't start it out to be a YouTube channel. We didn't start our business to be a YouTube channel. Even though I say as a business, you probably need to have the focus for social media. You need to be media driven. You need, and really we are that. We're media driven. We're doing this. It's after 5 o'clock. We're here talking to you guys now because it's that important to share the value for the people that we want to help, and that's what it's about.
Can you click that last one? And
which one?
The last one that she just posted. She said, as a customer, if you built our home, I wouldn't want my costs shared publicly. I think you're doing the right thing by the customers by not disclosing the price. I mean, we've really stuck by that. And again, we're not trying to sell these people's homes. We're just building for them. And so we're not trying to give out their information. We're not going to give you their address. We're not going to give you we're not going to give you direct access to the house. We're showing it to you, and we're trying to give you as much information as we can that stays with, the time. Even if we gave a price, it would date the video because it would not be accurate. So.
Does your company pour the concrete slabs for the Barndo if the client is doing a turnkey Barndo build? Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. We handle everything from breaking ground all the way to the final day. On a turnkey build, we do it all.
Canada's
Papa
like four.
Pist says Canada is like $400 to $500 per square foot. There you go, guys.
There's your sign to move to Texas. Just kidding.
So, it's a big deal what you can do for the value here. And that's why we got so many people coming here. But as a customer, we already did this one. Love your builds and videos. Thank you for sharing all the great information that you share with us. You're welcome. We appreciate it.
Sure. Anytime.
Thank you, Eric. And let me say this about cost. For the shell onlys, it ends up being around $100 per square foot for a shell only. But what we've thought about doing is up to the shell onlys giving a price, just because it won't impact, I don't think, our clients, for people to know what it costs up to a shell only. So we're talking.
Because the finish out is where
we're talking about sharing some of those costs. The finished details really is personal, because that's where people are paying the change orders usually on that kind of stuff. Yes, the cost fluctuates all the time. The market and the products are changing all the time. And for our videos that we do on YouTube, we kind of want them to be timeless. Like, we've got some older videos that have almost 2 million views where we were sharing costs. It kind of sucks, because it's like, it's irrelevant now. That video is irrelevant.
But you don't want to take it down because it still has information to it.
Well, all of the information for the style, the way it was built, all that's true. And then plus, we're not going to take it down because it's been a monetized video on our channel. I mean, be honest with you.
Yeah, it's got 2 million views. That's a...
So Pam says, we're in the process of building the hilltop in Georgia.
Oh, cool.
Pam, I want to see it.
Yeah.
That is a special build that we've had a part of in this area. So, please send us pictures. That would be so cool to see some of that and show us what you're doing somewhere else. Hey, maybe I'll come to Georgia to see it. I'm just messing, but no, that's really cool. We're thankful that we've been able to inspire people to build these homes. I feel like, we're inspired. We've inspired ourselves. No, we're inspired by others that have come along, and we're also inspired by our clients who have these visions that they want us to build. It's pretty cool. We were able to be with our good friend Stacy Lynn. I always have to say it like that because it rhymes, right? My good friend Stacy Lynn, and with the Barndominium company. And when we were on our way up to Houston, our son was going to a track meet this past weekend. We stopped in to look at, or really just to hang out for a few minutes, and take another look at the Creek House, which was a very popular video tour we did on our channel.
Our kids were wanting to see it.
And our youngest kids were with us, and they got to meet Stacy, and
we got to meet their team and
do a tour. Stacy gave them a tour. This was really cool. And our daughter let Stacy know she has not watched the video. I'm like, why you got to say that?
Stinker.
She's a mess. My 13-year-old daughter is a mess.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pam. Yeah, send us some pictures. That'd be awesome. Somebody said one of their favorites was a build with a bedroom, finished shop with a loft, but I can't remember which one that one. I know what it is.
Malkoff?
No, this one is the Grayford Barndominium.
That one doesn't have a loft.
Yep. You weren't there.
Grayford?
You were I think a doctor or something, the back doctor or something.
Well, I was there. Grayford?
Nope. It was
I think you're wrong.
Possum Kingdom Lake down that way. We did a build. It was a 1-bedroom downstairs, I think it was 5 or 6, maybe 600 square feet efficiency with a loft upstairs.
But you don't think it's Malakoff? That one just has a bedroom downstairs and then loft upstairs?
The Malakoff Barndominium does, but it has a great big storage area up above too. So, but But the Grayford is the smallest living quarter barndominium we've ever
It says
built.
there's a beautiful stairway for it.
Well, the beautiful stairway, probably Grayford.
Okay, maybe so.
Or, oh, unless they're talking about Hilltop.
Oh,
That's
probably
a
it.
one bedroom with a loft. Yeah.
Oh, and the finished shop. Yeah, that's
Hill-
that's for sure. It's
Hilltop.
Yeah, that's the
Hilltop.
one that these people are saying that they're building in Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. If it's the pretty stairway, I think that's Hilltop.
Thank you, Piney Woods. Appreciate you guys joining in. Yes, thank you. Hilltop Barndominium. Check it out. Almost, I don't know how many millions of views. It's 1.5 million
A million and a half,
or a
yeah.
little over 1 million. I don't remember. Hilltop Barndominium. Check it out. Guys, this has been great. This has been fun.
Y'all had great questions.
We're going to go ahead and probably get ready to take it out. We got one more question. Have you considered CA Martin? Have you considered doing a pole barn the way RR Building does it? It seems easier than trying to marry wood with steel like you do. I have to wonder what advantage you have over traditional post frame. We did talk about this earlier on in this live, so hopefully you'll replay that back, but I'll answer it for you one more time. But
Say it again.
I mean, RR Buildings does a great job. I love Kyle. I got to meet Kyle at I saw him a couple different places here just this past month, which was really cool. And I got a lot of respect for Kyle and what he's doing. Now, he's in a different territory than I am. I'm in Texas, where it's predominantly steel frame, even though the post frame is coming. It's coming to Texas. So we're hoping to take advantage of some of the options that there are with post frame construction. And I'm just kind of giving you guys the idea,
As an option.
the option as far as what we are looking at. Now, there's a lot of differences between the two, but the way that RR Building, for me, it's not more difficult because I have paved the road to build the barndominiums the way that we build.
So to do anything different, it would probably be easier.
Well, to not easier, it'd be harder. To do anything different would be harder for me.
Wow.
So because like I said, we have built systems around building the way that we build. So it's going to be a little bit more of a new system, right? Like we have to adapt to a new system. We have to learn a different thing. So for us, I mean, it's really simple. Like my steel frame guys are there. They're done within a few days sometimes. My wood framers guys show up and we're done within a few days sometimes. Maybe 3-4 good days with weather and all that. So my sheeting guys come in, they roll in, they're rolling.
They're there for about a week because they're doing the roof and the walls.
Yeah,
and
they
the trim.
spend a little bit of time. Well, so these are some of the reasons, like for us, thank you for all these thumbs up. I don't know what those mean, but that's pretty cool.
Says you're doing a good job.
But they're gonna keep coming. So for us, that's what it entails. Like we've built a system of simplicity for us to build these barndos the way that we do. We think that you can achieve it in a systematic way. That's why I'm saying, hey, if there's other builders that are looking to glean from us that want to adapt to some of our systems and that like our methods, then and are like-minded and want to be connected in some way, then we ask for you guys to reach out. Because this might be a way that we're able to reach other territories and make an impact and bring the hybrid barndominium to some of the other areas as well. So these are some things that we look forward to. I'm a systems guy. Like I'm going tomorrow. This is going to be exciting. I'm going to go to one of Reisinger builds projects, Matt Reisinger's projects. Well, every build he does is a new prototype. So this is going to be mass ply light is what they call it. And I'm going to be going and looking at this project. I think it's really exciting to see what they're doing. It has some similarities to the post frame because it's all wood, but it has also some similarities to the steel, but it's steel beams involved. So, I mean, it's wood beams involved. So I'm interested in learning more about that system as well. So they're gracious enough to give us the invite, let us come. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. How much is a barn door per square foot ballpark? Ballpark, I mean, what do you want to spend? 200,000, 300,000, a million? How do you want me to ballpark it? Ballpark it, I can tell you per square foot is approximately, oh, you said square footage. I'm sorry. I didn't read the whole thing. Square footage wise is like living, for the base price is around 175, 180 plus by the time you get done with your complete package, it might end up being closer to $200 on living square footage. And then shops and porches are like around $60 per square foot. Your shell only builds are around $100 per square foot base. You know, that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of money you could spend on living square footage. Of course, your shops and porches end up being similar to what they are on your turnkey builds. But go to our Barndominium calculator if you want to know an exact price on square footage, all this kind of stuff. You can input it right there. It'll give you a full report, let you know what our fees are, what our charges are. This is like an insight into us. You know exactly what we're charging. Ashamedly, I mean, our competitors know what we charge as well. So, but the difference is we are Texas Best. That's what we are.
Yeah.
So somebody could undercut us for $1,000 or however much, whatever they want. But
they're not going to be
they're not getting this hybrid Barndominium the way that I build it. I guarantee it.
I guarantee.
Or the way that our team builds it. It's a good group of guys that we have. Jeff says, do you have project managers that work for the company? We most certainly do.
And one name covers them both.
Well, we got a couple of Brandons, and we have another guy, and then I play around in that field as well quite a bit. So we got a few guys.
So real quick, I'm gonna touch back in case we have anybody new.
Oh, this is a great question.
It's a great question.
Do we have? I didn't think about it. You see this hat right here? This is available right now, and we do appreciate you guys buying some of our merch. We had some of you guys buying that last week. That was really cool. I appreciate it. We have put these designs together. This is our sunrise hat, which comes on a white with the rope. It's around $30, but this is something that you could do from a distance while you're waiting. You could put a Texas Best hat on.
And we've got hats, we got some sweatshirts, we got some t-shirts.
We got different profiles of this one. I've got one that's in a Richardson 112 that's black with white netting and black on the bill. That's a pretty cool one. It's available on TikTok. We've got a store there. We've got a store on our Linktree, which is the link right there. You can get to the merch account right there and see all the new products that we've got that we just put up. So please, please, please go buy that stuff so I can order some more and make some new hats. That's what I'm looking to do. We want to add some more profiles. But I'm not going to do that while I'm sitting on some of these hats. So you guys need to buy the ones we've got. And that way we can take a picture with them, share them, so we can see them on your heads. You can help support the cause.
I've got you a question over here on Instagram.
We're running out of time, but give me a question.
Okay. Hey guys, joining late, but love the look of the darker roof. Being in Texas, does this make a difference from a cooling standpoint in the summer?
Thank you, Drummer Thumpin', for the question. Some of these names are funny. The darker roof, I literally did a video 2 days ago on YouTube talking about dark roofs. And look, I'm open to what y'all think about it. Me, I'm giving my 2 cents. I do not see any impact from having darker colored roof.
We have a bunch of customers that have them and they love them.
consistently in Texas, your roof systems are asphalt shingles, right? Black. Everybody's putting black asphalt roofs on their roofs. Like, do you really think that the metal that has a white backer on it, that has closed cell sprayed to the back of it, with another 5-6 inches of open cell, none of that's going to impact your roof? None of it's going to impact any of that. So I always tell people, like, go for what you want, go for what you think looks best, because, okay, if you're paying $10 more a month so you can have the roof color the way you want it, like, do that. I mean,
If even that.
if even that, if you even saw any difference at all, I'm going to do a test. I'm going to do a test, and you guys are going to see me do a test of this. I think it'd be cool for the channel. I'm actually going to do a test.
Okay. What are you going to do?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay.
But you got to be subscribed to the channel if you want to see it. Is a black roof hotter than a white roof?
Okay.
So we're going to do a test on it. What's the one thing most don't put in their barndominium that they regret later? Well, let me say this, not our customers, but other people that I've heard of, is the lack of insulation. That's one thing that people don't do enough of, is not put enough insulation.
And I've said this on a previous one, and I said it earlier. The one thing that we regretted not putting in ours with a large shop. Now, if it's just a garage size shop, then it's not that big a deal. But we have a very large shop, and I was kicking him for not putting in a restroom in the shop, because we have, Christmas parties, birthday parties. We can do all kinds of things, company parties in here.
Well,
and they either have to go inside to my mom's to use the restroom, or they have to go upstairs to our office to use the restroom. So having a shop bathroom, I think, is for sure.
Well, let me say this about our particular situation. We did not build a bathroom because I didn't want to take up any more space in the shop. And later we added on a tool shed to the side of our building where we had a little bit extra room. And we just recently poured concrete in there. So I knew when we were pouring the concrete that we were either going to build out a bathroom and accomplish this now, or it was never going to happen. So we took advantage of doing it at that time. And so putting a shop restroom in your shop is a must. I believe I want to encourage it. Sometimes we don't get in early with even some of the consultation with people who are building, even with us. But if you're going to building with us, please put a restroom in your shop. What's more expensive, stained concrete or LVP flooring over your slab? I'm going to say sometimes it's not that much difference, one versus the other. But
we include both.
Like ours, our stained concrete sometimes it seems really expensive. So
yeah, because they've got to prep it, they've got to cover it, they've got to stain it, they got to seal it. So it's more. So you're going to spend more on labor than you do on materials to do your stained concrete, but then the other way around.
So it's similar in cost, and ours is
pretty comparable.
Ours is the same cost whether we do it or whether we don't.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps you. Do y'all have any crews in Illinois?
We don't.
Not currently.
But we have some friends that might know.
Yeah, we got some
people
folks
up
that
that
might
way.
know some people over there. So send us your message.
No, we
Try
don't.
to turn you on somebody over there. We don't do business in Louisiana at the moment. So we are a Texas company right now. We're building in Texas. There you go. Drum thumping is a drummer, so drum thumping fits.
I think he was on one of our other lives, and y'all were talking about the different
Yeah, we're musicians.
and doing like insulation
You guys don't know that about me, but
where they don't have to hear.
Sometimes
Josh is very musical. He
we play
can kind of play it all.
instruments.
He plays the saxophone. He can play the guitar and the piano, and he sings and he writes
No.
music. Yes, he does. He does it all.
Brandy sings a
Drums.
lot in the car, so
No,
maybe
no,
you guys can. I've got a video of her singing. We went on.
Oh no, you don't. No, you don't.
We've enjoyed. How many of your projects have rat walls? Well, we don't have rat walls. I don't know what you're talking about, but we do have your typical. We have a sheet ledge at the bottom, so our concrete we actually pour an additional sheet ledge so that our main panel sits directly against the concrete. It sticks out about 1.5 inches. Your panels are about 1.25 inches. So it's butted up right to the bottom. And then we seal our walls with liquid flashing. So we don't have no problems like that. Now, if you don't have that, you will have openings at the bottom for your panels, which are holes, which then you got to at least have you got to use a metal trim to try to make a block at the bottom to keep stuff like that out. And that's what they call a rat guard. But we don't typically even have to use a rat guard because we have concrete, but we still a lot of times have the trim there anyways. Closed sill right against the R panel, and then open sill right up against the closed sill. On the roofs, that's what it is, Jeff. On the roof lines, we use closed sill against the steel. But all of our wall systems, we actually use a substrate, and it's wood framing there, so we use conventional. We fill the voids with open sill. All right, guys, this has been a great night. We appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be back. We're coming back next week. So if you got more questions, please come back, replay the video. You can put them in the comments below. We'll try to answer your questions. Unfortunately, a lot of these comments will go away. That's the reason why we try to share some of those on the video. So for those of you that's been watching and hanging out with us for a couple hours, maybe some of you haven't been there that long, we want to say thank you. God bless you where you guys are at. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for sharing all of our posts. We've got some really cool posts out on right now on our Instagram, and everybody's been sharing. One that I shared a day or so ago has got over 200 shares for our Italy Barndominium. How exciting is that? Like hundreds of thousands of people are seeing these posts. So do your part. Keep us out there so that we can keep coming to you. I'm Josh Helm.
And I'm Brandy Helm.
We're wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching. Texas Best.